Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we are getting into something that is, frankly, pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, absolutely. It's a classic for a reason.
Right. So we're unpacking an audiobook transcript of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds. And the goal today is to really extract the core insights from this source material. We're looking at human complacency, the sheer fragility of our civilization, and the truly shocking biology of this alien threat.
Yeah, the biology stuff gets really wild later on.
It really does. But to start, I want you, the listener, to just imagine something for a second. Think about going about your busy day today. You're commuting, you're grabbing coffee, you're checking your phone, and you are completely unaware that these vast, cool, unsympathetic intellects are watching you from millions of miles away.
It's such a creepy setup.
It is. And the source material has this perfect analogy for it. It asks, are we just like the transient creatures swarming in a drop of water under a microscope, totally oblivious to the observer?
What's fascinating here is why they're observing us in the first place. They aren't just looking at us out of some sort of malicious curiosity.
Right. It's not a hobby for them.
Exactly. It's existential necessity.
Yeah.
The text explains that Mars is older, it's cooling, and it's basically dying. So, to the Martians, looking at Earth, we are this morning star of hope.
A morning star of hope. Because we have water, we have warmth, we have everything they're losing.
Precisely. And there's this really dark historical parallel the source brings up right at the beginning. It says, before we sit here and judge the Martians for invading, we have to remember humanity's own history.
Oh, right, the colonial aspect.
Yeah, I mean, look at our own ruthless extermination of animals, like the bison, but also indigenous peoples. The text specifically calls out the Tasmanians. They were entirely wiped out in a war of extermination by European immigrants in, 50 years.
Wow. So the text is basically saying, don't get on your high horse. The Martians are just doing to us what we've done to each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're applying our own colonial logic on a planetary scale.
Which is terrifying. And, because humans were so secure in what the text calls our empire over matter, we completely misread all the initial signs of the invasion. It leads to this just catastrophic first contact.
We completely ignored the warnings. I mean, astronomers literally saw jets of fire erupting from Mars.
Right, like massive flashes moving toward Earth. And what did we do?
We just, we chalked it up to volcanoes or meteorite showers.
People were completely unbothered until, of course, the first so-called falling star crashes into Horsell Common.
Yeah, and it's definitely not a meteorite.
No, it's not. It's an artificial hollow cylinder 30 yards across, and the description of the unsealing is just pure horror. It's agonizingly slow. The lid is unscrewing from the inside, and then this Martian finally emerges.
And it's not some, sleek sci-fi humanoid.
Not at all. It's described with these grayish, billowy movements. It has these luminous eyes, a lipless, quivering mouth. It's just dropping saliva everywhere, and these Gorgon-like tentacles.
Gorgon-like. Yeah, that's such a vivid image.
But the thing is, it's heavy. It's sluggish. It's struggling just to survive in Earth's gravity, which brings up a huge point. Okay, let's unpack this for a second. If they are so sluggish and they can barely move in our gravity, why didn't the military just easily destroy them while they were stuck in the pit?
Well, I mean, that comes right back to human denial. The public expectation was that they couldn't move, so they weren't a threat.
So people just didn't take them seriously?
Not at all. People were literally out flirting, commuting on trains right next to the crash site. They treated it like a sideshow attraction. We completely underestimated their ability to substitute mechanical intelligence for muscular exertion.
We thought, oh, they don't have the muscles, they can't fight.
Exactly. We thought muscle was the only way to wage war.
And we learned how wrong we were when the deputation approaches. They walk up with a white flag trying to communicate, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we are civilized humans.
Yeah, trying to be diplomatic.
And in response, the Martians just unleash the heat ray.
Which is just devastating.
It's described as an invisible sort of heat. It just sweeps around and literally turns men into white flame. It melts glass, it melts iron.
The shock of that heat ray, I mean, it completely shatters that illusion of safety we were just talking about.
Oh, totally. Suddenly the sideshow is a slaughterhouse.
But even then, humans thought the threat was confined to that one pit. But the Martians' next technological leap proved they weren't tied to the landing site at all. They were preparing for mobile mechanical warfare.
Right, the tripods. This is the part that always gets me. The narrator has this midnight encounter during a massive lightning storm.
Such a cinematic moment in the text.
It really is. The thunder is crashing, the rain is pouring, and then a flash of lightning reveals this walking engine of glittering metal. It's a monstrous tripod, higher than many houses, just striding over pine trees.
And howling.
Yes, howling, aloo, aloo as it walks. It's chilling. And there's this great analogy from the source to help you visualize it. Imagine a milking stool tilted on its side and bowled violently along the ground.
Like it's cartwheeling.
Exactly. But scale that up into a giant metallic monster.
The sheer technological asymmetry there is just staggering. I mean, humans do try to fight back with what they have.
Right, they bring out the artillery.
Yeah, guns are deployed. And there's actually this one moment at Shepperton where a hidden human artillery unit manages to hit a tripod.
They decapitate it, right.
Basically, yeah, they blow its hood off, and the whole massive thing comes crashing down into the river like a battering ram.
So a small victory for humanity.
A very minor victory, unfortunately, because all it really does is cause the Martians to adapt. They realize they're vulnerable to hidden guns, so they retaliate with overwhelming, calculated force.
They realize human artillery actually poses a threat, so they just change tactics entirely.
Yep. They stopped relying solely on the heat ray.
Yeah.
It was too risky to expose themselves in the open.
So they shift to chemical warfare, which is just brutal. And this leads to the complete collapse of society. They start firing these canisters that release the black smoke.
The black smoke is so terrifying because of how it moves.
Yeah, it's not like normal smoke. It's an inky, heavy, poisonous vapor. It sinks into the valleys and the trenches, smothering everything that breathes.
The text describes it like they are methodically smoking out a wasp's nest.
That's the perfect way to describe it, just pure impersonal extermination. And that extermination triggers the exodus. We see the focus shift to the narrator's brother in London.
The contrast there is so striking.
It really is. Like Sunday morning, Londoners are reading newspapers, going to church, totally apathetic. They think it's all fine. By Monday morning, it is the dawn of the Great Panic.
6 million people.
6 million people all engaged in this frantic, stampeding exodus. So what does this all mean for the social order? I mean, we see people turning on each other instantly, right?
Oh, absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's a tragic breakdown of humanity. The source gives these really specific, horrific examples.
Like the guy with the money.
Yes. There's a man clutching a spilled bag of gold sovereigns in the street.
Just dropping coins everywhere in the middle of a riot.
And he won't leave his money. He's so obsessed with his wealth that he literally gets crushed by a cartwheel.
Wow.
And then there's the Salvation Army man standing in the chaos, just screaming, "Eternity!" over and over. It's the complete death of the habit of personal security.
The habit of personal security. That's such a good phrase. Because it really is a habit, isn't it? We just assume we'll wake up and the world will be normal.
And when it isn't, all our rules just vanish.
But, you know, to balance out all that despair during the panic, there's also the story of the Thunder Child.
Yeah, the torpedo ram.
Yeah. It's this heroic sacrifice. The Thunder Child is steaming at full speed into the Martians to protect this massive, sickle-shaped fleet of refugee ships.
It's humanity's last real stand.
And it actually takes down 2 Martians before going down in a cloud of steam. It's epic, but it also feels like this final gasp before the military is just totally defeated.
Yes, it is, because after that, the survivors are completely scattered.
Which brings us to the most claustrophobic part of the text. The narrator finds himself trapped in a ruined house right on the edge of a Martian pit.
It's such a shift in perspective.
Right, we go from massive tripods destroying cities to this horrifyingly close look at what exactly has conquered Earth. He's literally peeking through the rubble.
And what he sees really changes our understanding of the invaders.
First, he sees the handling machines. These are the intricate, metallic, spider-like machines they use for heavy lifting in the pit.
Not for fighting, but for working.
Yeah, building stuff. And the text says they move so fluidly that they almost seem alive.
But the real shock is the Martian biology itself.
Oh, the biology is so gross, but so fascinating. They're basically just 4-foot-wide heads. That's it. Just a giant head with tentacles.
No entrails.
No entrails. No digestion. No sleep. And they don't eat. I mean, not the way we do.
No, they don't chew or swallow anything.
They inject the fresh, living blood of other creatures directly into their own veins, including human blood.
It's incredibly grim.
It is, but here's where it gets really interesting to me. It's horrifying, obviously, but isn't it also incredibly efficient?
What do you mean?
Well, They don't waste energy digesting a heavy meal like we do. It's like skipping the entire messy process of eating and just, I don't know, plugging yourself into a charger.
That's actually a really accurate way to look at it. The text suggests that the Martians represent the ultimate ruthless trajectory of evolution.
Okay, unpack that trajectory for us.
Well, the idea is that as the brain and the hands, or, their tentacles develop, the rest of the animal body just dwindles away.
Because they just don't need it anymore.
Right. Think about how much our bodies dictate our lives. Our moods, our fatigue, our emotions, they're all tied to our physical, organic substratum.
So if you remove the complex body, you remove the fatigue?
And the emotion. The Martians also lack sex, by the way.
Oh, right. They reproduce by budding.
Like lily bulbs.
Yeah, which sounds completely bizarre.
It is, but it completely removes the tumultuous emotions of human life. There's no romance, no family drama, no passion.
Which just leaves them as these pure, selfish intelligences, just brains computing the most efficient way to survive without any empathy to get in the way.
Exactly. They are the apex of cold logic.
Man, that is bleak. But it really brings the whole journey of the source material into focus. We started with this blissful ignorance of late 19th century society, people just living their lives.
Thinking we were the center of the universe.
Exactly. And then the catastrophic arrival, the heat rays, the towering tripods, the mass panic of the London Exodus.
And suffocating in the black smoke.
Yeah, that complete breakdown. And finally, sitting in the rubble, looking at the chilling, ultra-efficient biology of the Martians themselves. It really makes you think about how quickly your own daily routines could just liquefy.
That habit of personal security we talked about.
Right. How fast would that disappear in the face of a completely unimaginable disruption? It's unsettling.
And there's one final, really lingering question that the text leaves us to mull over, especially regarding that Martian biology.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, if the Martians' biology being reduced to pure brain and hands, devoid of digestion, fatigue, and emotion, if that is framed as the logical endpoint of evolutionary efficiency,
Okay.
is it possible that as humanity advances technologically and intellectually, we are destined to become just as cold, detached, and ruthlessly pragmatic as the monsters that invaded us?
Wow. Are we just evolving into the Martians? That is definitely something to chew on. Well, that wraps it up for us today. Thanks for exploring this deep dive with us, and we'll catch you next time.